First on the stage is GODO. GODO offers complete solutions for the travel tech, and their talk, they will have a focus on how to ease the life of the tourism employer. GODO is one of the two main partners, as Ástþór said here earlier, and a valued member of the ecosystem of tourism in Iceland. Please welcome Sverrir and Ástþór from GODO on the stage.
So welcome to ITT 2023. I am delighted to stand here in front of you today. My name is Sverrir, and by my side is my esteemed colleague, Ástþór. And we are truly honored to kick off this remarkable event. Many years ago, when I made my first booking on Booking.com, I remember how amazed I was by how effortless and remarkable the process really was. Gone were the days of making endless phone calls to different hotel receptions seeking availability. Just a quick search and a room was booked. In that moment, the thought crossed my mind, do we even need humans anymore? However, when I ventured into the travel tech industry a decade ago, I discovered a stark reality. The human touch remained the most crucial element in the travel industry. Back in 2013, we still found hotels in Iceland who were receiving bookings via methods such as email, phone, and in some cases even fax machines. And we still found employees who were managing bookings with a textbook and a pen. And these outdated practices resulted in a significant amount of time spent on manual work. And just imagine the amount of hours wasted annually due to these ancient tools. Fortunately, the landscape has evolved, and the travel industry now exemplifies how a harmonious relationship between employees and technology can truly make a difference in business. So we are GODO, and we are a company that is dedicated to streamlining the lives of employees and managers in the travel industry. And that we do by developing software solutions tailored to accommodation providers, travel agencies, and now recently car rentals and tour operators as well. From property management systems, channel management, invoicing, automation, guest communication, we cover almost every aspect of the travel technology. And throughout this presentation, we will showcase a few examples of individuals whom we have assisted in transforming their businesses through the power of travel tech. And with that said, I'm going to pass the ball to my dear friend Ástþór. Take it over.
Thank you, Sverrir, and hello ITT. I am Ástþór. I think this clicker should work. I started with GODO in 2016, and I got to know a lot of great people. And I'm going to tell you about one of these persons, and his name is Sölvi. A true Icelandic farmer, used to herd sheep and cows for a living, and branched out to tourism and built a 30-room hotel. And when we met in 2017, I paid him a visit, and he was a little bit stressed. He was spending a lot of time on manual work, and his staff as well. And they were spending their day approximately like this. Half of their time was being spent on managing reservations. They weren't connected via a central platform. They were managing Booking.com and Expedia, and then their direct bookings, and compiling it all into Excel. A lot of the time went into check-in and check-out. They were printing out manual receipts for the guests that were coming in, and accounting and the charging part was taking the rest of their time. So Sölvi's private life at this point was not really existing. He wasn't really a tech-savvy guy, but he could figure out by himself that this was not an optimal situation. So we were hanging out, me, his staff, and his animals too, which are super nice. And I convinced Sölvi to go online. And he just, by connecting to, for example, channels like Expedia and Booking.com via one central platform was a significant change for Sölvi and for his staff. But today, I can actually say that Sölvi is quite tech-savvy, and he's using more solutions with GODO today. And I'm not talking about any fancy data science solutions or, something. We are simple men, so we just want to talk about simple things today. And the simple things that he did was to connect to his credit card provider, and he was transactioning his reservations now through the hotel system automatically, because the credit cards come with the bookings via the channels, and now they're processed. The same thing applies for his accounting system. Before, he was creating the invoices manually, and now the invoices are created automatically through the system. Our digital guy mentioned the Icelandic winter or summer or whatever it is now. Sölvi used to get a lot of calls from tourists, and they were lost, sometimes driving in the dark, and they couldn't find his farm. Sometimes no data roaming and no Google Maps. Sölvi, can we please find your farm? We are lost somewhere. And sometimes he even had to go get them. We made a map to Sölvi's farm with good explanations on how to get there, and now he's sending that automatically to all of his guests. Finally, he's also, because he's just connected to more channels, diversifying his sales, increasing occupancy and revenue at the same time. So today, Sölvi and his staff are spending their day approximately like this. A lot less time on reservations, less manual work. The check-in and check-out process is taking a lot less time as well. The accounting and the charging time is almost non-existent. They're doing something new. They're focusing on sales. They're acquiring more travel agencies to do business with and connecting also with more channels. And the upsell and the guest experience part is also a bigger part of their life now, making them and the guests more happier. Last but not least, Sölvi is spending more time with his animals, which is a big value increase for his private life. This is just a short example how manual work and digitalization can really change your life. But let's go to the city. I know Sverrir has a good example of how it looks in the city. Is it different?
Yes, it's different, but not that different. Thank you so much for telling us about Sölvi. I know Sölvi is really happy with your visit. He's actually still talking about it, and I know his animals miss you. As you know, emphases are often different in the countryside, but in essence, running a hotel is just the same, even it's under the glacier or in Reykjavik. And we have another example. This is Silla. And Silla is just a typical downtown hotel manager. She's full of experience. She worked and studied abroad, and to say the least, she's ambitious. When we met Silla, she spent 300 hours monthly doing her job. And most of us here, with some knowledge of the tourist industry, we would just call that a typical hotel manager. Silla approached GODO in 2018, the same year she took over as a hotel manager. And when she took over, she had 26 employees working at the hotel. 3 people were doing work at the booking office. 1 guy was doing revenue management. 2 people were doing accounting and invoicing. And then Silla had 8 people working at the reception, while 12 were taking care of housekeeping. The yearly occupancy, when she took over, was 70% at the hotel. The average ATR was 19,900 ISK. And the ratio between direct and channel booking was 80% manual and 20% channels. Silla actually had been given a free rein by the owners of the hotel, and she decided to just go all in with GODO, which made us two super happy. So Silla got all of our attention. We onboarded Silla to our hotel system and made a connection immediately with the hotel's accounting software and credit card provider. The result was very good. Accounting team were being seen more frequently, drinking coffee and chatting at the reception, giving Silla a new headache to think about. And then we took our partnership further and convinced Silla to change the access system of the hotel, and so she did. She actually made a huge investment in smart locks and making it possible for the hotel to offer their guests self-check-in service for the first time. And now the receptionists had more time available, and the reception was slowly turning into a meeting spot in the hotel. People were not doing any work there anymore. But Silla, she maintained laser focused. She armed her team of housekeepers with Pronto, our cleaning app, streamlining the way dirty rooms were handled. And today, quality control actually starts at housekeeping. Armed with cameras on their phones, housekeeping has captured maintenance issues to such a degree that the needs of handyman on site has dropped by 60% in just a few years. And for her beloved staff at the booking office, Silla decided to do all her travel agency business via Travia Marketplace. And the result was pretty amazing. 90% drop of manual bookings from travel agencies. And lastly, but not least, with the help of revenue management algorithm and access to GODO BI reports, Silla finally managed to see the average ADR starting to rise nice and slowly. So, with new technology, Silla felt more comfortable modifying the structure in-house. 5 years later, just like 1 month ago, me and Ástþór, we sat down with Silla, and she told us about the changes in her work environment. And the most significant one is that Silla is now running a 90-room hotel with 23 employees. Yes, the owners added 20 more rooms, but they're doing pretty well with 11% less employees on site. 3 of Silla's employees, they moved to another hotel owned by the same owners and are helping them building up the same structure there. Silla, she combined the booking office, revenue management and accounting in one office, and today 3 people are managing that office instead of 6. And with 20 extra rooms, Silla is still working with the same team in housekeeping and reception, which is pretty remarkable. And the reception team is now spending most of their time working on sales and marketing, and by that, helping the business to grow further on. So, and partially therefore, Silla has an occupancy now at the hotel, which has risen to 89%. The ADR has risen by 40%, and the ratio between direct and channel booking has just flipped, turned around completely. And Silla today is operating one of the best running hotels in Reykjavik, and she's not working 300 hours anymore. She spends her nights at home with her family, and she's not working in the weekends anymore. But Silla has been working with different partners in the travel industry, and I think Ástþór is going to tell you about one of them now.
Yes, thank you, Sverrir.
Thank you.
A little side note also about Silla and their housekeeping stuff. They stopped printing out paper, and this actually accumulates to approximately 1 tree per year, which takes 20 to 30 years to grow, and I love that, and I know Silla loves that as well. Environmental, yay. All right, so, but I know another person working with Silla actually a lot, and her name is Kristína. She uses Travia, and she is a travel agent for a big travel agency in Iceland. And before she was using Travia, this was how she was spending her day. It was a lot of back and forth communication. Those of you who have been hoteliers or within travel agency, this is quite outdated. Sending an email, getting a response maybe 2 days, 3 days later, sometimes the same day if you're lucky. Sometimes picking up the phone, okay, I really need a reply now because I need to book for my guest. And this was something that she wanted to solve, and I want to say this has actually been an outdated practice since 1996, when Booking.com first came online. So we got on board 2018 and have been trying to solve this issue. Kristína, she was one of the first people using Travia. And the first change for her was that her sales process was much faster. And also, with over 900 hotels in Iceland using Travia, she has increased her portfolio of hotels that she makes reservations with now, giving her more flexibility. She is also checking her availability now herself. No phone calls, no emails, and she can check the pricing according to the date and the policies that she has according to each hotel as well. This is probably the biggest change for Christina, because being able to get an inquiry from a traveler or creating a package and selling it right away instead of waiting for a few days or hoping that you get an accommodation somewhere, yeah, that's a little bit tricky. But not only that, we're doing something cool. Christina is now one of the pioneers in Travia that are helping us out, testing out reservations with car rentals and activities from tour operators. And this means that we're enclosing the whole circle of the booking process for Christina. So instead of contacting all these identities, she uses a cart module to create a package. She selects a destination where she can pick a nice car for the ride, maybe around Iceland or the Golden Circle, something. And she picks an accommodation, an activity with it, and sends the tourist ahead for a journey that hopefully he will never forget. This is a huge time saver, obviously, for the car rentals, for the hotelier, and for the tour operators. Last but not least, the automation of the process and having Christina handle it all gives her way more power. Now, with over 900 hotels and 600 travel agencies using Travia, we have seen that hotels are now doing business with approximately 20% more travel agencies than they used to do before entering Travia. This is great for the travel agents and also for the hotels, creating more chances for increased occupancy and revenue. We're also really proud to say that Travia has become the second largest booking channel in Iceland, only after Booking.com. Now, I'm going to sum it up a little bit with statistics. We talked about payments and processing payments. And with up-calculated in 2023, if we're doing 510,000 automatic transactions through the system, and previous workflow of the hoteliers were taking them approximately 2 minutes per each transactions, we are saving 17,000 hours in the year 2023, which are 2,125 working days and over 70 million krona in salary. With the accounting system connections, if we can conclude that 498,000 invoices are created via our connections, and previously the hoteliers were spending approximately 3 minutes to create an invoice directly into their accounting system, we're saving 24,900 hours with over 3,000 working days and 100 million krona over that in time spent using these connections. Last but not least, Travia, with 395,000 booked nights in the year 2023, and with the old workflow, front and back, checking availability, etc., on both identities, if we can conclude that they mutually spent 8 minutes on one reservation, we are saving 26,000 hours with over 3,000 working days and 110 million krona with average salary in salary cost. This is what we do and what we want to continue to do, and we're super happy that you are here with us and listening to us. To my colleague Sverrir, it's been a pleasure. To all of you, thank you so much, ITT, and enjoy the rest of your day.